Hey guys, Deslater Magic here, and you read that correctly. The official Magic Esports Twitter account, run by Wizards of the Coast themselves, tweeted out, and I quote, "Due to the coronavirus outbreak and in an effort to ensure the safety of our community's players," I said and I quote, I'm not going to fix their grammar, Wizards of the Coast is canceling the WPNQ Season 2 in mainland China, which is scheduled to be held leading up to March 29th. Now, what does WPNQ stand for? No idea, but apparently there's a Season 2 of it. It has something to do with China, and they're canceling it. I think it's the national qualifier for their little Olympics knockoff where it's like country versus country, but I don't know. It just goes to show how much I really don't care about pro-level Magic because, well, everybody's cheating. So part 2 of the tweet was, as part of this change, all WPNQ Season 3 events, so not 2, 3, the one after it, held from April 4th to July 26th in mainland China, will offer 2 invitations rather than 1. So they're kind of delaying and merging the event more so than canceling it, I guess, but depends how you look at it. And also, wow, they are really confident that it will be contained by then. So yeah, the top 2 players at each event will receive invitations to Player Tour Series 3, whatever the hell that is. And part 3, Wizards of the Coast is prepared to make adjustments to events that are part of our programs when the safety of our players is called into question, and we will act and communicate such changes promptly. You know, you say that, but you don't let legal gun owners carry guns at your tournaments concealed with proper permitting. So what they mean to say is they only care about player safety and potential threats to attendee safety if it agrees with their politics. And by the way, have you guys seen all the comically ridiculous articles about, oh, are you scared that an Asian person will give you coronavirus? Well, then you're an ignorant racist. Even though it is factually happening in China. So I'm sure some of Wizards of the Coast will say own people. The hyper-liberals scream at everybody else for being racist because I'm right and you're wrong, rar types will be like, oh, racism. Oh, you're canceling an event in China? Racists. That is pretty funny to me. But anyway, it kind of sucks if you live there, but so does, a giant virus outbreak that the government actively helped spread to save face because they're idiots. So yeah, obviously anybody with a brain completely agrees with this. It is what it is. It sucks. It's just like if they wanted to hold an event in Jamaica and they had to cancel it because of another earthquake or something, destroying all the infrastructure. It is what it is. It's just a bad thing that's happening. Oh, well, They are making up for it by holding double qualifications, though, for April 4th onward. So that's about as good as they can do. So with all the bullshit going around about the coronavirus, just wanted to spread some actual reality since there's not much more to this except for just, hey, it's unfortunate news. It's a virus. There is no mystery cure as far as any viral agent that resembles the cold or flu. Taking vitamin C if you're already infected does absolutely nothing. In every study ever, echinacea was found to do absolutely nothing. That's another BS cure. Essential oils, put them down, Karen. They smell lovely, I'm sure, but you just fell for another, snake oil salesman online and you're a dumbass. So since there's no magical potions, oils, or any other bullshit that's going to stop this, sparing one, which I'm going to mention, obviously. What can you do? Well, it's airborne and it's based on touch, and the majority of people who catch really anything, seasonal or winter-based or whatever, it's from touching a surface with germs on it and then touching their eyes or nose or mouth. Mostly the nose, as saliva kills pretty much everything. It attaches to your mucous membranes, gets stuck there, starts to replicate, infects cells, forces them to replicate, explodes. You guys know you took health class. But what you may not know is caught up in all the bullshit. There is one thing and one thing only that has been proven by the FDA, believe it or not, to prevent the spread and replication of viruses along your mucous membrane tract. And that is zinc, but only orally applicated zinc, not you can't take it in pill form, so not digestional dietary zinc. That does, once again, nothing. I think zinc atoms go into zinc-based molecules in white blood cells, cool, but if you're already infected with a cold or flu or coronavirus, it's too late. However, they did prove in an actual official study, and then it's been replicated worldwide in, I believe it was the early 2000s? Late 90s, maybe, somewhere around then? That zinc pretty much applied directly to the nose, or, let's just call it what it is, Zicam. That's the brand name that started all this. As long as it's suspended in a sticky thing, so your own mucus or the direct nose application stuff, and you don't eat or drink anything acidic that'll turn it into zinc oxide, which does not work. It prevents the virus's ability to attach to the cell wall specifically in the first place. I guess they like bond to the zinc molecules instead and then do nothing and eventually die off. So it was proven to shorten the duration of a cold. Literally nothing else we have does that to a viral agent. So that's why this is such a huge breakthrough. But, the common cold was basically cured, sort of. Got drowned out by all the bullshit claims about, just take vitamin C and, this and that and, that other cold remedy that got sued for false claims. Airborne, I believe it was. They just made blatantly false, misleading claims that are believed by quite a few people, actually, unfortunately. Here's the thing, though. The way I understand it, coronavirus is more like a bronchitis type thing where it's a lower respiratory tract, not so much upper, like traditional cold where it starts in your nose. And the mucous membranes in your nose are the most affected by zinc-based compounds that are applied directly to it. So this isn't an ad or anything, and also I think I legally have to say this is not medical advice. I'm just quoting my research paper I wrote in high school about this and personal experience. But if you've already hopped on the zinc train and realized that at the very first signs that you're starting to get a cold, like especially in your nose, if you take zinc and then just like don't eat or drink anything really and just like leave it chill there, it pretty much cures you instantly. It buys you enough time to get the T cells out there and antibodies and kaboom. So yes, the common cold has been cured, but like I said, this is more like a lower down bronchitis thing. You can't get the zinc there. You'd have to like inhale it, which is probably really not a good idea. So it may not be very effective against this particular virus and this particular strain, but it's like the only thing that might sort of kind of work. And when it comes to the ridiculous lethality rate, 6 times higher than the normal flu, hey, I'll take what I can get. So like if you start showing symptoms and it's in your city, yeah, I would stock up. I'd stock up now on it, actually. So what else can you do? Stay healthy. You might think, but I'm elderly or I'm, this, that, an infant. I don't know why you're watching my video then. The groups that they always say that are the most vulnerable to illnesses because they have compromised immune systems for one reason or another. Well, surprise, you might actually be in that group if you're an idiot who gets 6 hours of sleep, never works out, and your diet is crap. I would strongly recommend improving all 3 of those because your immune system will go right with it. It tends to kind of scale with your overall health, energy level, and your immune system does a lot of work while you're sleeping. So among other reasons like, Alzheimer's and I could go on, get 8 hours plus of sleep per night. Otherwise, many bad things are happening to you, among which would be a compromised immune system. The same with effective malnutrition from eating processed foods and, nutrientless garbage. And like I said, just to bring it back around, don't touch surfaces, then touch your mouth or face. Speaking of that, the funny thing is, those masks, you just basically end up breathing through the edges of them unless it's like a really good mask, like a professional grade respirator mask. But the regular paper ones up to professional hospital ones, those are really only to stop like splashes, I guess you would say, for lack of a better term. Airborne stuff, like somebody coughing next to you, they found out it actually concentrates it so that you're breathing in like a higher amount from a longer distance from a different angle through the sides of the mask. What it does help with is if you're the one who's sick, because then you're not breathing out water vapors that contain the viruses. They're getting stopped by the mask because breathing out hits the mask. Breathing in does not. However, it does provide a barrier for you touching your nose and mouth. So you could just not wear a mask and just not do that and constantly just carry around hand sanitizer everywhere and just blast your hands every time you touch anything, pretty much. Which honestly is tedious and kind of paranoid, but you could just psychologically catch yourself every time you're about to touch your face or eyes or whatever in public and just not do it. If you have to do it, blast your hands with some kind of sanitizer first. There have been many repeatable studies where like an invisible compound was exposed to people's hands. And then they usually do this at conventions, like health conventions. This is kind of funny. And then they tell people, hey, come back to the booth in an hour. And I think it was like 98% of people had the dye on their faces around their nose or mouth because humans touch their nose or mouth while they're in public. They just do. So stop doing that. And if you're already sick and this is like coronavirus, flu, cold, anything, stop going out in public. Stop going to work just because, I don't want to miss stuff. Stop going to school anyway because, it'll be too tedious and hard to catch up and do double the work the next day or whatever. Like, you're literally putting other people's lives at risk. Just take the day off, stay home, and play video games. Come on. So that is real shit based on real science and real facts, not a bunch of rumors, a bunch of internet bullshit, or a bunch of hocus pocus magic Chinese plant will cure your cold. There is no cure for viruses other than preventing them from connecting to the mucous membrane cells in your nose. And it really goes to show that, like, literally nothing has been developed since the discovery of that. And if you still think it's BS, because it's the like Zicam and similar zinc-based products that are applied directly to the nose or the mouth, say homeopathic on them, that's just basically to get through FDA approval. Or not get through it, to like sidestep it, to dodge it, to put it on the shelves anyway, because homeopathy is 100% bullshit. But yeah, it's not the whole let's diffuse it and mix it and water memory and all this other pseudoscience horseshit. Like I said, it was just to get it on the shelves for, stupid people, but then it turns out it actually also does actually work. And, while we're at it, debunking stupid, health-based bullshit, the whole weight loss, oh, this caused weight loss, that weight loss, this pill, that magic thing, whatever. Two things ever were proven to actually cause weight loss. The rest are all bullshit or unproven. Green tea extract and caffeine. Everything else has not been proven. The FDA has tested it and they're like, no, this does nothing. Green tea does something they don't understand your metabolism, but it was proven and repeated in multiple studies in a lab. It's not much. It was a couple pounds. It was, whatever. And caffeine, yeah, shocker, just kind of overclocks your metabolism. Well, I think vitamin B was on that list, but it's considered a nutrient, not a drug, so it didn't, really qualify or whatever. It's a whole thing. Oh, and I think it was B6, not B12 specifically. Niacin. If you don't believe me, take a whole bunch of niacin and have fun with the little effect that they call a niacin flush. Now you know how your mom feels when she says she has hot flashes. I mean, niacin basically just gives you a fever. So you are literally burning calories. But if you can sit home and just drink a bunch of green tea, which you better not have sugar in it, or literally that is enough to offset the effect. It was that tiny. If you want about 100 times the effect, get your ass to the gym, okay? Like physical activity the previous day and the next day causes your metabolism to adjust. It's like a survival thing where if you don't need to move much, then your metabolism goes down. You burn less energy. You're less warm and less hyperactive, I guess, with less glucose being available daily. I don't really understand it, but you guys know, whatever. You exercise, your energy level goes up. This is not a secret. In fact, most personal trainers who have degrees in this will tell you, if you go to the gym and burn 700 calories, you might think, well, that's not much. That's literally 1/5 of 1 pound of fat. You might as well just double that because the next day your metabolism will raise by about that much if you weren't already exercising. So there you go. Just doubled your workout for you. Ta-da! Well, that has been debunking medical quackery while telling you actual facts from actual research papers and, peer-reviewed doctor studies, which, strangely enough, is another one of my hobbies. Oh, now skimming through one of the major research papers about all this, if you already have enough zinc in your diet, adding more does absolutely nothing. And they want to really point out the whole zinc lozenges and upper respiratory versus just eating zinc, because those are two different things. Oh, and to cite my source on most of this, the NCBI, the National Center for Biotechnology Information, and the National Library of Medicine. And NIH.gov, which quotes 7 different doctors and their specific studies. So yeah, good luck finding that with your ad on Facebook that says lavender essential oils is going to stop coronavirus, because it's not. If you want the most high-level article to look into it, go to Wikipedia and look for zinc and the common cold. That is the title of the article. And it mentions intranasal zinc use, which is the term I should have been using this whole time. So yeah, nothing else as far as I know has ever been known to stop virus cells. So this was quite the breakthrough. Like I said, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they discovered that zinc actually works. So keep it handy and use it correctly. Do not take zinc and then immediately drink CO2 or lemonade or something. It oxidizes it, makes the wonderful taste in your mouth even better, and completely negates it. Oh, it's a myth that it makes you lose your sense of smell, as far as I know. Yeah, that lawsuit was settled or whatever, but it never should have been. Those people clearly just had bacterial-based nasal infections and confused the symptoms. Zinc doesn't do shit against bacteria, by the way. Antibiotics do, though, but also stop taking antibiotics that you got on the dark web or whatever, first of all, in general, and secondly, to stop freaking coronavirus. It's a virus, not a bacteria. So much stupidity in the online health world. But that's why my channel is here to clear it up. I guess, apparently. Hey, once in a while I make a video that's not magic related that's actually important. So hey, go spread the truth. I wouldn't necessarily post this video on social media and say, shove it, Karen, with your essential oils, you bitch. But, just find some respectable source, like a, government or national health, whatever, and link to that and just be like, hey, y'all, just FYI. Because you can fight the spread of false knowledge by spreading actual knowledge. Which is what I'm doing. Also, little tip specific to you guys. If you see a Yu-Gi-Oh player when you and your friends are playing Magic, just get out the Lysol and just give them the old bunts up and down. Just give them maybe like the old Catholic cross. Maybe give them a You know, the old fancy Harry Potter putting a barrier spell. You'll get one of those going. You know, whatever your speed is with the Lysol, whatever your technique, as long as it gets in the air and gets on them, they are germ-ridden subhuman apes and just absolute walking pathogen engines. Just kidding. Mostly. I mean, let's just say that the stereotype that some Yu-Gi-Oh players, and by some I mean a lot more than the baseline average human, have some hygiene issues. In my experience, it's true. Yeah, if you want to help spread viruses and bacteria to the rest of society, don't bathe, which is how I would describe quite a few of them. Also, it was a joke. I was kidding. Do not point blank Lysol mace the Yu-Gi-Oh players. Just stay away from them. Maybe pick up a chair and poke at them if they try to get too close to you, like taming a lion. Maybe yell at them from across the room that you don't like them breathing the same air as you. Maybe only, get that one out if they're the same skin color as you. Just saying, might be misconstrued. There's some history there. For real, seriously though, if something's spreading around your areas, a serious flu, a bad cold, bronchitis, which pretty much is just coronavirus junior anyway. Yes, I know it's a condition, not a pathogen. I'm using it as a general term. Get over it. If it's spreading around your area, if you do not have to leave your house, don't. Just limit your access or exposure to the general public. Like if you're good on food and you've got something to eat and drink, maybe don't go to the grocery store for a little bit. Maybe don't go play Magic at a place with people who you don't know if they're sick or not. I mean, this is like a real thing. Like, talk to anybody who went to any convention, Comic-Con or CES or whatever. You will come back sick. Like, you are around too many people walking and touching too many things and breathing, and a lot of those people will not, cease attending just because they're sick. So the more people you get in a place, the higher number of individual people, and the more likely they are to go there anyway while sick, like a grocery store. Or if it's a sick people magnet, like a hospital, an ICU, a Walgreens. Yeah, avoid that. Or just, stay away from people with symptoms. Anytime you touch a surface, drop the nuke on it with some alcohol. And if everybody did that and just put in a basic effort, stayed healthy, got some sleep, ate healthy, properly treated colds, the numbers would go down so much. I mean, it's like these little tiny percentages of just the tipping point where the virus does not spread like crazy. And that's what we're going for. So right now they're just doing it with quarantines and limiting access of people to people. It's kind of working. Yeah, add all these tips on top of it. Yeah, now we're talking. Now as a society, we're getting somewhere. And there's, by the way, a vaccine in the works. So, that's always an option too. And this one's going to be a little bit more reactive and direct. The average flu virus covers like 10% of the strains anyway. In my opinion, it's kind of a waste of time. Some years it's like 30%, whatever. It's more of a convenience thing, or if you're a highly at-risk person. So this one, very narrow, very new strains, very specific, very limited RNA variation. It's going to be a pretty good vaccine as far as vaccines go. So get one as soon as you can if it would be more than just an inconvenience. Now, that said, I do find it very interesting that they're saying, 3% death rate. And you're like, 3% of people are horribly unhealthy. Some 60-year-old smoker who never sleeps. That's the 3%. Like, healthy me in my 20s or 30s, I'm good. But one of the doctors who initially reported it, and the Chinese government tried to crack down on them because they're assholes, 31-year-old healthy doctor who knows health stuff died from it. And, I'm pretty sure he didn't have AIDS. I don't think he recently had chemotherapy compromising his immune system. So, a 31-year-old healthy male, unless he was being forced to work way too many shifts and was not sleeping and exhaustion caused it to exacerbate in that's pretty concerning that a 31-year-old male who knows medical stuff and knows better died from it. That's honestly pretty fucked up. I'm not the one to get all sensational, scare tactics and shit, but that's the most concerning news I've heard out of this. It may be coming down to like a specific genetic makeup of your exact white blood cells kind of thing, and then, that instead of rolling the dice, I would just jump on that vaccine the second it comes out, just saying. Oh God, that reminds me, this weekend, I'm traveling overseas somewhat shortly, and I have to get the MMR vaccine, and I only got it 30 years ago when I was 2, and almost died. I ended up in the ER with a severe immune reaction, horrible fever. Yeah, and I haven't had it since. But I'd prefer not to get mumps, measles, or rubella while I'm over there. So we're gonna give that a shot, so hopefully I don't die this weekend. That'd be really nice. Wish me luck, everybody! I'll see you guys next video, hopefully.